I keep describing it as Dan Verton's exclusive Al-Qaeda interview. Time for us to ask an obvious question. If you were a powerful Al-Qaeda cleric living in London, naturally, and you wanted to divulge Osama bin Laden's master plan, why would you give Dan Verton of Computer World an exclusive interview? Why didn't this guy flap his gums at Morley Safer or Barbara Walters or Connie Chung or Larry King? I mean, come on, not even Jerry Springer? Not even Geraldo Rivera? Phil Donahue? G. Gordon Liddy? Oliver North? What gives here? Hey, don't get me wrong. A follower of Osama bin Laden might want to blab to a computer reporter under the right circumstances. First, though, he'd need to make up a CB handle for himself. Not just any CB handle, but a stupid one. I mean, a really stupid CB handle. He'd need to call himself something like say Mel Hacker, for example. Mel Hacker. Yeah, that'd be a stupid CB handle, all right. And speaking of a stupid idiot who calls himself Mel Hacker, page 7. Verton's exclusive Al-Qaeda interview went on to cite an intelligence threat assessment written by the bankrupt Beltway bandits at iDefense. Come on out to VMyths, where I work. That's VMyths.com. We've got a whole resource on those fearmongers. iDefense found that a recent worm written by Mel Hacker contained encrypted code and numerous Muslim names whose significance is unclear, as well as at least one and possibly two references to Al-Qaeda. Good grief! What you're listening to right now contains numerous Muslim names whose significance is unclear, as well as at least one and possibly two references to Al-Qaeda. Coincidence? Verton's story continued. While this does not prove a direct link to Al-Qaeda, it certainly shows empathy to the terrorist organizations and an apparent willingness to act on their behalf, the iDefense study concludes. Oh, hang on, it gets better. Mel Hacker is also reportedly working on a new mega worm that has been referred to as a 3-in-1. According to iDefense's Director of Threat Intelligence, Jim Melnick, the worm will supposedly combine features of Surcam, Klez, Nimda, and will be named Skesda. I knew I wasn't going to get through all of these without laughing. This should be viewed as a major threat, wrote Melnick in the iDefense study. This should be viewed as a major threat, wrote Melnick in the iDefense study. The continuing development of malicious code from pro-Islamic and pro-Al-Qaeda hackers is of great concern, and one that needs to be closely watched. Yeah, Al-Qaeda hackers need watching, all right, and you can count on the fearmongers at iDefense to do it, if only for a little free publicity that it generates. Good grief. A guy named Melnick bragged in an analysis about a guy named Mel Hacker? Coincidence? Skesda. Don't you just love it when hackers pre-announce their diabolical creations? You could still purchase Skesda.com when I checked on it, so yeah, I bought it. You idiot Mel Hacker. Page 8. Now, I know enough about Dan Verton to say he doesn't like to put his byline on stories filled with inane tripe. And Verton apparently knows enough about me to respond candidly to my emails. He wrote, "The main point of something like this is to alert people who are running computer systems at relatively obscure organizations that in today's world, international events such as war with Iraq, while not in any way related to the knucklehead running the IT department, can and often do have IT ramifications for many. It's about thinking differently about preparedness, not fear, uncertainty, or doubt. I could go on, but I don't want to get caught up in the ranting and the raving that has completely replaced critical thinking in the private IT community." Huh? Hey, I rant and rave, you know? Verton makes a crucial point about the raving that has completely replaced critical thinking in the private IT community. Ironically, though, the knucklehead running the IT department will miss Verton's main point, because Computer World doesn't expect their readers to engage in critical thinking. Your eyeballs are just a pair of sponges waiting to soak up their ink, that's all. An overwhelming majority of Computer World readers merely glanced at Verton's story. They noticed the quotes from guys like Michael Cayman Islands. Then they concluded a deadly Uber hacker lurks under every turban. And then the little SpongeBobs glanced at the next story. Very few of them, if any, questioned how Dan Verton could scoop Larry King for an exclusive Al-Qaeda interview. Page 9. I should note a lot of people mindlessly read computer security news, and a lot of people mindlessly eat fast food. There's nothing wrong with it, really. In fact, there's plenty of jobs available for people who cook up mindless computer security stories or mindless fast food. You want fast food? Go to Burger King. You want fast computer security news? Go to Computer World. You want to interpret the subtle complexities of your food? Go to an upscale restaurant. You want to interpret the subtle complexities of computer security news? Go to vMyths. That's where I work. Now I need to give a memo to Dan Verton. Hey, Dan, you can't dunk fries at Burger King and call yourself a chef. If you want readers to understand the ramifications of computer security preparedness, then you should engage them in the editorial section. Otherwise, go back to your desk and file your bylines like a mindless scribe. But there's the rub. Verton is no mindless scribe. He, like the connoisseurs who visit vMyths, that's vmyths.com, already knows two more obvious questions we have to ask him. Number one, how exactly did an Al-Qaeda sheikh fall into Computer World's lap? And number two, when Bakri raised the cell phone to his ear, did the excitement of a scoop cloud everyone's judgment? Verton did buttress his exclusive interview with baseless tripe, after all. You think about it. I'm Rob Rosenberg. I almost forgot. Memo to Computer Security magazine editors. Shame on anyone who would breathlessly trumpet Verton's exclusive Al-Qaeda interview. Upscale restaurants and fast food don't mix. I'm Rob Rosenberger for vMyths. That's vmyths.com. Truth about computer virus hysteria. Be there or be scared by Sheikh Bakri.